Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In the last period, I had to create several charts of the type planned versus actual. These charts, if you don't know them, are actually showing planned numbers and showing what are the actual numbers on the same series or categories. So they can easily show us whether we are going according to the plan or behind the plan or ahead of the plan. Okay, so these are really great charts whenever we have some plans in place. So I've searched a couple of months ago about what would be the best visualization for such data, and I found what I think is the perfect one. So if you need such visualization, then I really recommend that you watch this. But before we continue, I invite you to subscribe to this channel so that you will be always notified about any new content that I publish, and obviously check that bell icon. Okay, let's start. Let's start with the data. In front of you, you can see the sales data for 12 months, where we have for every month we have the target sales and the actual sales. And this is the data that we want to visualize. We want to have a visualization or a chart that would actually answer two main questions in the fastest possible way. Okay, so first of all, we want to ask for a specific month, are we doing well or are we doing better than expected or as expected? Okay, and it must be a very fast answer. Okay, on the other hand, we have another question where when we see all 12 months on this chart, where we are going to ask on which months we see a problem and which months we see that we are doing well. Okay, so if you imagine, if you put yourself in the shoes of a manager, usually you would like to immediately spot whether you are doing well or you are doing badly. Okay, and specifically or in general, on which months did we do well and in which ones we didn't do well, without any extra calculations in our mind. Okay, so have a look at this chart that I'm showing to you now. This is, I believe, the best one that can visualize this. Okay, where you can see on the horizontal lines, you can see what is the target. Okay, and then you can see in gray what is the actual that we managed to reach. So if that actual goes beyond the target, then that extra portion that is above the target is going to be in blue, and we call it the overachievement, because this is what we did actually. We went ahead of the plan, or we were better than the target. And if the actual reached the target exactly, then it will show fully as gray. Okay, it will show a gray column. While if the actual was lower than the target, then we would show the actual as is, on the number it reached. Okay, and on the remaining portion, the part that we were behind the plan, it will be in red. Okay, and this way we will very easily spot whether we did better than planned, because and then we will see immediately that we have a blue on this full column, or if we see that we have any red, then it means that we were doing we didn't do as expected. Okay, so this is in general how this chart is read. And now let's have a look on how it is created actually in Excel. Okay, so let's see how we build this. Basically, we need to calculate each one of these colors, okay, separately, and then we are going to stack them on top of each other. Each one of these has a value that is a positive one. This is something that we need to remember. And this line is actually the target, so we already have it. Okay, so we're going, we don't need to calculate anything about it. So we will start with the gray bar, which is the actual that was done, but up to the target. So if we did better than the target, then we want to display the value up to the target, because the one above we're going to display it as a separate value. Okay, so we will call it actual up to target. And now we're going to take the minimum between the target and the actual. So we write equal minimum, min, open parentheses, and then we take target, comma, actual, and we close it. And you know, we have this kind of syntax because we are using a table, so we don't so this is how we get this very clear syntax. And of course, if you are not used to tables, then I really invite you to watch the first and most important video probably on my channel about the Excel tables. Okay, now the next one that we're going to calculate is the red one, which is the target not met, or the delay. So let's write target not met. The column is added automatically, and the table is expanding automatically. And now we need to calculate the delay, which is the target minus the actual. So we write equal target minus actual. But you will see that in some scenarios, for example, in month 2 and 3, we can see here that we have minuses. We don't want these, so we want all these need to be displayed as 0, because when we are overachieving, we want to show as 0 delay. So let's wrap this around with the max function and 0, like this. This is how we get it. And the same we need to do for the overachievement. Let's write it here, overachievement. Okay, and now we need to calculate. It is the actual whenever we are doing very well. So it's we have higher actual than the target. So it's actual minus the target. But we want also to wrap it around with a maximum of between this and 0, so that we will always get a positive value. Now we have all the data ready for building the chart, and we do this by doing now since we are already in the context of the table, so we just need to insert, and let's go to recommended charts, because we want to build actually a combo chart. So we'll go to all charts and then combo, and now we need to choose the target should be actually this line with markers. Very important to have markers, and you will see why. And all the rest are actually stacked columns. Okay, everything else should be a stacked column. Okay, this is how it looks like in the beginning, but we will quickly modify it that it will show the same like this. So first of all, we need the month. We don't need it. So, it has selected all the data here, so we don't need all of it. So first of all, we can click on any of the months here, on the series here, let's say. Sorry, I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, it's not working well, so I'll right click, select data. Okay, we don't need the month, and we don't need this actual. Okay, we're going to use the actual up to target. So I'm going to remove the actual, and the rest we need it. Okay. This is how we get it. And now actual up to target, we are going to color it in this gray color. The target not met, we will recolor it in red, because it's like a problem, so it's good to use the red color. And then the overachievement, let's put a blue color. I thought about using green, but it's maybe blue is better in this case, because it's not saying that we are doing well, it's just a special value. And now here we don't want these lines, so let's click on this series, we right click, and in the outline we choose no outline. And finally we don't want to have dots here. Okay, so there is a very nice trick here where we can put any kind of drawing instead of these dots. Okay, so let's just draw a line. So insert, shapes,
and line here. We will put it here. Okay, now let's go and change it to be a thicker one. Let's say I don't know, 3 points, or let's say no, maybe it's sorry, wait. Okay, and now let's change it to black color. And the cool thing here is that now we can, while this is selected, we can copy it. And then if we click on these markers here and we paste, look what happens, we get this. Okay, so it's a very cool trick for replacing the markers with any shape that we want. So this doesn't look so nice. So let's, I'll go and change this one. I'll change it to maybe, I want it to be thinner and maybe even smaller here like this. Okay, like shorter. Okay, now I'll copy again. I'll select here and paste. Okay, so this way we got everything that we wanted. Obviously, maybe we can rename this one to actual up to target. Let's call it actual. And then you will see that since this is a table and we already have a column with that name, it will probably not accept it, and it will show as actual 2. So let's rename this one to actual full and this one to actual 2, and this way we got the legend that we wanted. We can also rename this one to plan versus actual, and that's it.
So we've managed to create this chart in Excel, and I hope that you benefited from this and you enjoyed it and you learned something new. In the next video, I'm going to explain what we can do if we want to add data labels to this chart. What would be the best way to add those data labels? Because if we add the data labels to or all possible data labels, the chart will be really cluttered and it will really look messy. Okay, so I'm going to explain about how to add those in a very let's say conditional way, so that only those that are relevant or only those that should be displayed will be displayed. So look for the next video that is going to be on my channel. Okay, and always I remind you that liking the video and especially writing any comments below, especially on any future topic that you would like to hear about, and obviously subscribing. All of these help this channel a lot on the YouTube platform, and I will be very grateful. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.